back in the day, like me and my dad have been collecting for literally 20 years.
Yeah.
So we used to bust. It was back in the 2010 era, 2011 Leaf Limited. It was called. Wasn't the biggest card, but it was a Cam Newton logo patch auto. The card's probably $80 now, but I just remember how massive it was at the time. Like literally, it's about like $400-500 back then, and now it's like $100. Like that was the best memory as far as a pull.
So, welcome. One of the very first streams that I attended when I jumped on Whatnot over a year ago, I jumped into the crazy world of Compkillers. And it was the perfect marriage of unbridled enthusiasm, jaw-dropping cards, and a guy who frankly just gives a shit about the hobby. He gives a shit about the cards. Most importantly, he gives a shit about his buyers. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I introduce Zach, a.k.a. Compkillers, say hi, Zach.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me, Joel. Appreciate you guys having me on here. This will be absolutely amazing. Saw my guy Kobe and also Pidge. So tough interviews to follow up, but we'll try our best.
Well, I'm thrilled to have you on. By the way, Zach just came back from Lambeau. It was a tough game, but we just ended up talking about it. It's going to be a very good battle in 9 days from now. Good Lord.
Yep.
Just some numbers. 5-star premier shop. 1-day shipping. I always say it's incredibly important. He just shipped out his. You had a show last night, right?
I had a show last night. We shipped until 6 a.m. this morning.
Ooh, that's dedication. He just shipped all this stuff just today. Guess how many cards you've sold?
I think I'm at 49.32.
You son of a gun. That's exactly how many
you've
sold.
Is it? Is that my spot on?
This guy knows his business, you guys. He knows exactly how many cards he's sold to date. He's got 95,000 followers. That's absolutely beast mode. You gonna do something big for 100K?
Yes. Definitely gonna do a marathon 100K stream. We'll probably do something ridiculous like $5,000-10,000 in giveaways. Something insane. Something that breaks the Whatnot norm. And like, truthfully, I want to talk with my tax guy and figure out a way to like give away like a Corolla or like a car or something like that. Like, I would love to like figure out a way that I could literally drive this to a lucky winner on what. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that'd be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, you hear about Compkillers the other night? Yeah, he gave away a car.
It's like, oh no,
So I say these numbers because I think the typical audience are people that just started streaming or maybe have been streaming and maybe hit a lull. And so you take a look at Zach's numbers. They're absolutely gigantic. They're monstrous. But he started just where we all started. So let's take a step back, Zach. Tell us a little about your very first stream.
Terrible. Like literally to the point where I was like, I have to quit. This is awful. So my bright idea was to do a mystery pack show for my first stream ever. Awful idea. A lot of people advised against it, rightfully so. Got absolutely torched, lost thousands of dollars. And the best part about it, when I was going to introduce the chasers and who won the chasers, my phone decided to die. So then I'm trying to find a power bank. I'm literally on my parents' basement. This is 4 years ago. I'm on my parents' basement, hurdled by the side, trying to plug my phone and keep my phone plugged in, and also show the chasers on the carpet. I'm like, this looks so bad. It was the worst stream ever. I was discouraged. I wanted to quit. It was awful.
Needless to say, things got better, but isn't it kind of fun to remember your first show and just,
absolutely.
Like, you realize how far you've gone. Also, I forgot to ask that, but 4 years, you guys. He's been streaming 4 years. That's like 25 years in dog years. So that's amazing.
Yeah, about 4 years now. Coming up on 4 years in May.
I always tell people that streaming is a lot of work. It's tough. But it's fun and it pays off just because we love the hobby. So let's talk about like what's the number one thing that your favorite thing that you love about streaming, Zach?
Interacting. Like it's such an easy answer, but like truthfully, just not just the interaction, but like also I think about it like the side of, you gotta think like obviously there's the business model to it, right? We need to sell cards, we need to make money, we need to feel and buy more cards. But at the end of the day, like there's a big aspect of like you don't know what the next person's going through. They could have had just the shittiest day ever at work. And hey, Compkillers is on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. I know he's
Yeah.
gonna have some crazy humor or something. And like I have a lot of people who come in and they're like, man, that really have been a terrible week. My dog died or this or that, and it's like, hey, that really helped me out. So I mean that part is really cool too, just the human interaction and being able to give that purpose to people too.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Kind of a side note, I was able to meet Zach in Dallas, and one observation I made is like no one works harder. He was working deals from the second he got into Dallas until he left, and I kind of learned a lot from that. Like, wow, this is a guy who takes the hobby seriously but still has a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And there's just an observation I made about you, and so you probably travel around a lot to procure
Yeah,
inventory.
absolutely, a lot of travel. Yeah, pretty much a lot of local shows, but I'd say at least once a month, somewhere out of state, if not twice a
Sure.
month, somewhere out of
Nice.
state.
Nice. What single piece of advice would you give a brand new streamer?
Man, I would just say don't quit. Don't quit. Don't listen to anybody else but yourself. Like if you got it in you and you have the drive, you've got the hustle, you're gonna figure it out. You'll find out. It's just through show and after stream, you're gonna end up figuring it out and knowing what you can do.
Yeah.
But just like, it's cliche, but just really just keep going. Keep going, be consistent. Consistency is super key.
Yeah. I think everyone we've talked to has brought up how important consistency is. Pidge brought that up and he had a great point where like run a lot if you want, but make sure you have one main show a week where people know like that's
Yeah.
the fire show. And I thought that was really good advice because I think a lot of new streamers tend to think like the more I do shows, the more popular I'll get. And that's just not the way it works.
No, it's actually I've actually ran into that where I think it's vice versa. Like I used to do a Monday show, a Wednesday show, a Friday show, a Saturday show, and make those into 100 auction shows, whatever it may be. Now it's just hey, I'm live either Monday or Tuesday,
Yeah.
one time a week. Let's do 500 auctions and bang it out, and
Yep.
really just create that like once a week. Even further, I'm rambling, but just to like on further point of that, I literally thought about this, and this is just goes through my ADHD mind of just thinking about whatever. But
Yeah.
I thought about like, why go live multiple times a week, on a Monday, on a Wednesday, on a Friday, when, we all watch Netflix, we all watch TV shows, right? If you watch an awesome TV show on Netflix, that next, if it premieres on Tuesday, the next episode isn't tomorrow, right?
Right.
It's not Wednesday, it's the following week. So it builds up that intensity, it builds up that demand for it too. So,
You're spot on. You're spot on. And it's like I know there's certain people that run only once a week and I get really excited about their shows. There are
mhm,
other streamers that I actually like a lot, but I think they run a lot, so it gets kind of watered down a little, if you will.
mhm, mhm,
So I like that show analogy because you're exactly right. I was a
mhm.
big Lost. Remember the show Lost? I was a big Lost nerd.
Love
Anyway,
it. Love
that's
it.
a whole nother podcast. So it's December right now. It's December 10th. And I think as streamers, it's pretty obvious that we're kind of in that NFL lull, right? It's
Mhm.
Christmas time. We're getting close to playoffs, but it's not playoffs yet. So, I mean, sales are down a little. Um, Having said that, you're still doing shows. What are you finding in your streams that is doing really well?
Yeah, I think obviously, yeah, you're gonna find a little shortage of football not buyers, but just percentages. It's not as good margin. Like ironically enough, right now is probably like the worst market right now for football as opposed to when preseason and the hype behind
Yeah.
going into season is. So like I think people stay true to the guys who can see that over game differential of 40-50%. Your playoff quarterbacks, your guys who are in the hunt, your guys who are coming out, and even Joe Burrow's had a spike after one game, the team's still trash, but
Yeah.
there's still hype behind it. So people still buy into that. Okay, well, if they see a playoff game, now there's still a chance.
Who would you say is recession proof? What player in any sport do you feel like you can throw it on the camera and people are just going to go ballistic on it?
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Um, name, likeness, just being a goat. The same with that Tiger Woods influence, same with that Michael Jordan influence. I
Sure.
think the only problem with like the Jordans and Kobe's that they've spiked so much where you got a one more little plateau. There's going to be a little market correction where Brady is at a fraction of what those guys go for.
Yeah, it's not a saturated market. There are
Mhm.
not a lot of really like huge, massive Brady's out there. So when you see one, you buy it. Kids
Mhm.
just had a one of those crappy Pacific 2000 rookies, and it
Yep.
was a
Yeah. Yeah.
PSA 6.
The diaper. Yep.
I had to buy it because I never see it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I was like, take my money, I want that. Um, you've been streaming for 4 years at comp. Like that's a long freaking time. Again,
A
that's like
long
in odd
time,
years,
bro.
that's like 20 years. And so you've overcome a lot of challenges in your career. Tell me about one that even maybe happened at the get-go or one that you're dealing with right now and kind of walk us through how you were able to overcome that challenge.
Yeah. I would say the biggest challenge is not even the consistency of schedule, but the consistency of building a big enough show and sourcing enough for a weekly show.
Hmm.
Even once a week, but like at the scale that I want to do it at, it's very tough to source that much. Um, like everybody always asks me at the end of the show, like, how'd you do? You buy a lot? It's like, could always buy more. Like that's always my answer. So that's been at a standstill as of now. But obviously, we've got a lot of connections here in Chicago and, what have you on Instagram and people who sell to us. And that's always good. But I think going into next year, I think it's just one of those things where, you just got to bite the bullet and almost pay a little bit stronger and start buying from some of these cheaters, just to
Yeah.
fill that gap.
Want to give a shout out to any local card shops in Chicago that you like?
Yes, absolutely. Big shout out to my guys over at Mint Memorabilia, Kiko, Dan, Garrett, all the boys over there. Amazing shop.
Nice.
Mark's Card Shop, great people, real champs. Really, really good shops, good people, and definitely great for the hobby too.
Cool. All right, we're doing well. Only a couple questions left. How you doing, Zach? You good?
Man, I could go for hours, Joel. Let's go for hours, baby.
Yeah, I know, man. It's I don't have a lot of friends around Austin that collect, so that's
Mm.
what draws me to this kind of interaction, whatnot. Nothing beats it, man. Nothing beats
No,
it.
it's the best. It's the best. Dude, think about it. Like we get to like the easiest way that I explain it is like we get to do what the next person does in their free time. But this is a
Mhm.
side hustle, sometimes for some a full-time business.
Yep.
This is what we do that we would be doing if we just went out to the bar and had a couple of drinks and we're talking shit
Yeah.
about football and who's gonna go out, so like we're super blessed. Don't get me wrong, there's bad streams, there's bad days, we lose money here and there, but like this is the life.
I
This is
agree.
there's nothing better, bro.
Amen, brother. Amen. Last question. Let's talk about the future of Compkillers. So what's going on right now that you're working on? And then like 2026 is good Lord. 20 days away. Tops is taking over. It's gonna be a big year for the hobby. What's going on with Compkillers in 2026?
Yeah, man. I think we're just gonna focus on hitting the ground running and really just leveling up every stream. Doing more in giveaways for people. I think that's a big thing. Start putting a lot more money into giveaways, maybe even cool experiences. I got to start looking at some different things, just some out of the box things. I definitely want to do bigger shows, you
Yep.
know, and there's also something pretty big planned that I'm thinking for 2026. I'm going to try to infiltrate and work
Cool.
on that. That's still in the works, but yeah, it's I think 2026 is going to be a great year, man. I'm
Love it,
excited.
man.
I'm
Well,
excited.
hey, I appreciate this time, dude. It was so good to sit down with you. I wish we could talk for hours, but we will do a round two. You cool with that?
Absolutely, bro.
Well, if I could
Absolutely.
speak for anyone and everyone that's attended your show, thank you so much for everything you bring to the hobby, to the streets and whatnot. We
Man,
love
thank
what you
you.
do. Keep up the great work. You're the man. Appreciate you, buddy.
I just wanted to give a shout out too to my little bros, True Polls and Remy's Cards. Should
Nice.
also get them on the show. Probably won't be as good of guests, probably a little more boring, but just want to give a shout out to those guys as well.
Okay, you can help me set that up, and I'm in.
I will for sure.
All right, buddy. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Joey, the man, bro.